As you meet new people, okay,
Yeah.
this is what I'm curious about. What, you know, and then I want to go to Christian Grey.
Sure.
Are people receptive? Like when someone reaches out to you for the first time and you're bringing up these topics, I mean, you obviously saw my reaction, which I think is freaking hilarious, but, you're welcome. What's like, I'm just trying to imagine. I'm sorry, folks. Like I sell finance. I'm just wondering what that conversation looks like. I'd be like, what in the world did I get myself into?
I'm gonna take a step back. You said,
Yeah,
what happens
please
when
do.
somebody reaches out?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take one step back and say, what happens what do you do for a living? I'm a leadership coach. I'm a leadership coach
Okay.
who specializes in power dynamics.
Ooh.
That's what I say.
Okay.
So they start asking a little more questions, and I'll get in there and say, my power dynamics comes from the specialized knowledge I have of basically being a male dominatrix and that training I received all about power. So what happens is you usually get a spectrum. You get we're done. And off they go, and they don't want to hear any more.
Out of every 10, how many are like, we're done?
2 or 3.
Only 30%?
It's about 30% are like, I'm out.
No, I thought
There
it
is
was way higher than that.
There's about 5 of them. About half of them are curious.
Okay.
But I'll say this, hesitantly curious. I'd put you in that camp. You were hesitantly curious. And there's 2 or 3 on the other end of the spectrum who are just, oh my God, that's fascinating. I want to hear more. That sounds intriguing. You were one of the 5. You were one of the, I'm hesitantly curious.
Yeah, I was definitely one of the 5.
Well, you started out in one of the 3. You started out with, I'm not so sure about this. But then you opened up and say, now I'm curious.
I had to, and I think it was, I think you got to deal with this all the time because it was, my initial reaction was like, what is my audience? Like, what are the people, like, what in the world are they going to think? What? And then I thought about it. I'm like, dude, it's my show. Like, if I bond with someone and I'm like, oh, okay, well, like, they have credibility. I understand. Like, you studied this, you got the results. Yeah. Let me introduce it. What's it hurt? If it helps one person, I'm happy. And you're telling me 70% are at least willing to listen. That's a big number.
It's great. Now, you said, what happens when people reach out to you? If they reach out to me, they're one of the 2 or 3 who are like, dude, I need to hear more.
Right.
Or they're about 2 or 3 of those 5 who are just, I'm hesitant, but I'm curious enough to say, I want to know more about what you do. And my conversion ratio is pretty good when I talk to them and say, this is what I do. It's not Christian Grey. You're not going to be walloped to the point in time you need a standing desk for the next week. That's not what I do. That's the Christian Grey bullshit. That's the Christian Grey bullshit that Hollywood does that just doesn't help.
I appreciate it. I sounded, and folks, I'm gonna be real, I sounded like an idiot yesterday when Matthew and I were talking about like preparation. Because you know where my ignorance came from? That movie was very, very popular, and the books were very popular with women.
Yeah.
Extremely popular. Like, they were crushing. I remember my ex-wife couldn't stop talking about it. So I'm kind of like, what in the world, if it's that toxic from what you know, as someone, I'm like, what is going on? Why did they sell out so much?
Let's separate toxicity from this, because you and I have talked about this in the past.
We have. That's why I kind of want to open it up, because I want to finish up with that. Like, how come it's stereotyped that way, but then there was so much attention to it? That's what crazy.
There's so much attention to it because it's out of the norm.
Right.
And it's taboo.
Oh.
People like watching the taboo.
Okay.
You're not supposed to watch this. Like this. I'm not going to tell anybody I like this, but I'm going to watch it.